All right, CeeJay, back here in the Bellator cage. I mean, how's it feel? How's fight week? Everything.
Feels amazing. Fight week's been going well. Camp went well, so 2 more days and it's showtime.
And I mean, maybe the toughest opening draw you can get in a Bellator debut. Especially at short notice also.
That's what we want.
Just like talk to me about the lessons from that and now to kind of have a full camp and kind of come in not fighting someone who's hyped as possibly a future champion and all that stuff.
So we came in and my debut, if y'all don't know, my debut was against Magomed Magomedov, and dude's an animal. It's probably one of the best things that ever happened to me because he gave me his best, so I know what the best in the world feels like, right? You already said he could be possibly a future champion, so can I. My thing is, it gives me something to gauge off of. It lets me know where I need to be at. So, I lost that fight, hats off to Magomed, he's doing big things. I went home Saturday. That Tuesday, I was back in the gym, back to the drawing board, working towards where I want to be at. So it was a blessing in disguise for me.
And Mateus Mattos, who you're fighting this Friday, also lost recently to Magomed Magomedov. Does that help the team and yourself in the sense of like preparing, because you both have faced the same guy and watching film? Does it help, like, I did this differently, he did this differently?
You know what? Styles make fights. You know what I mean? Magomed did some things to me that he didn't do to Mateus. But I mean, it'll show in my fight Friday, like my studying and just trying to make sure that I'm doing everything that I needed to do this camp to make sure that I'm preparing for Mateus. We lost Magomed already. He did too. So now it's like, okay, whose coaches are more the masterminds and more so who is the better fighter. So I look forward to it. Like I said, styles make fights. He could have been dealing with something when he fought me, or he could have been dealing with something when he fought Matos. So, but we'll see.
And you had said that fight was a blessing in disguise. You've had such a a long journey of a career. LFA, Dana White Contender Series, to now be kind of a multi-fight contract, Bellator, one of the best promotions in the world.
Yes.
Just take me through kind of back when you're Contender Series, LFA, kind of on the build-up, trying to get to this type of spot, and now you're here.
You know what, man? Like you said, it's been a long, consistent journey. Sometimes it's hard to be consistent when things are, the cards are stacked up against you. I lost to Casey Kinney on the Contender Series. I fought Jimmy Flick. I fought some of the best guys, that were in the UFC and that are in the UFC. To me, in my mind, it was just all about staying consistent. And, now I'm here. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with looking back in the past and, seeing, what you came from. You know what I mean? Seeing the competition that I fought. And I think, that really prepared me well when I got the call. Thank you for getting me in Bellator. Because now it's like, I fought everywhere. So I'm pretty much, mentally and physically prepared.
And I feel like there's always, in the sense of UFC, Bellator, just in general in MMA, there's this build-up of the record. The record needs to be pretty, 10-1, you're going to get signed. You've built your career off fighting, like you said, the toughest guys possible. Even in your debut, Magomed Magomedov, you don't take the easy fights.
No,
how much has that helped you for your career?
It helps me tremendously, just because, my coaches, we pride ourselves on being thrown in the fire because, there's something to be said to get built up and, fighting and then, again, making a nice record. But then, there's some guys that have that, luxury, and then they get thrown in the fire and they don't know how to respond to it. For me, I was thrown in the fire from, day one. My pro debut, on a week's notice, I fought Juan Puerta on a week's notice. So he had 5 pro fights. I was 0-0. Like you said, Magomed. It's like, anybody else, I feel like they could have been like, you know what, I don't want to take that fight. But I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I trained to win that fight. You know what I mean? I was going in there to win. I was not going in there just to be like, oh yeah, I'm in Bellator, maybe next fight. Like, no. So, like I said, it was a blessing in disguise, and I used it, and it fueled me for this fight. So,
Absolutely, man. And last one for me here is just prediction for fight night. I mean, anything that you're definitely prepared for in camp that we can expect to see Friday night?
You just expect to see a lot of angles and footwork, and a lot of volume. Expect it's going to be a different story than my Bellator debut. Let's just say that. Right? I'm not going to go into specifics, but expect a different story because now I'm here. I'm here now. The dark horse is here.
Absolutely, man. CeeJay, thank you very much for the time. Looking forward to watching, man.
Appreciate it.